This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by Connected Data, the makers of Transporter and the brand new Transporter Sync. Find out more and get 10% off the new Transporter Sync with the offer code MV10 at filetransporter.com/MV. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. MacVoices is at CES in Las Vegas. Mr. John Grzeskowiak of RadTech has been trying to get me here for a long time. I was here last year for the first time. Now I'm trying to get him to go back to another show. What are my chances?
Well, I think it'll happen. I really do. There's a little more separation now, so it's going to be a lot easier to do that. So
we should say too, John, that you've got a couple of your kids working here, and so I went to talk to them before I came to see you, and I think I've got a little more influence there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'll be leaning on me because they love San Francisco, so I think it's a pretty good bet we'll be there soon. So,
John, it's great to see you, and RadTech seems to be humming along just like it always does, just doing great products.
Yeah, we just keep doing what we're doing, listening to customers. You know, a lot of our products are things that you folks have suggested, so you know, we really try to give people what they want. So,
John, how do you obviously getting new products in is, relatively speaking, easy because they're new products. How do you decide when maybe a product is past its time, maybe needs to be retired?
Well, two criteria. One is, you know, if the sales are so abysmal that it just doesn't make sense to keep it around anymore, we'll discontinue a product. And one is if we just like run out of the product and it's something that is only economical to build in very large numbers, but we know that the future for that product is probably going to be fairly limited. So, yeah, so that.
Now, long-time listeners to the show know that RadTech not only manufactures some of its own products, you're also a distributor. It's an interesting model that not many people have.
That's true, and you know, a lot of people ask us about that. But you know, 12 years ago, we started out as a manufacturer, and there wasn't a whole lot going on in the Apple community. You know, in fact, most companies were sort of, you know, leaving the room and turning off the lights on Apple. So, you know, I guess there was an opportunity there to provide products to customers. So we kind of jumped on it, and it served us well. You know, I can't say, you know, anything negative about the experience. I mean,
and I don't think the community forgets those kind of things. You know, I think they pay attention to the people that stuck with them, because there's one particular printer manufacturer, who I won't name, who jumped ship. And there are people that still have a bit of a bias against that you weren't with us when times were tough, and now things are back and we're looking elsewhere.
Right, you're very right, Chuck. I mean, we have so many dedicated customers who we met 12 years ago for the first time. And, you know, all those early Macworld shows that we did, we're still in touch with those people. Those people still call and write us. You know, I still see orders come through with their names on them. And, you know, I mean, I'll get on the phone and call them, and we'll just chat. I've made so many friends, it's just unbelievable. And it's really a good feeling. And that's what I think more than anything else keeps me going and doing this. You know, if it weren't for that, it wouldn't be nearly as rewarding as it is.
Well, it's in today's world, we say it so much, but it really is all about community, and that drives a lot of things.
Exactly.
So what do you have new for, especially for Mac users, but I guess in general from RadTech? What is the hot thing?
Yeah, so what's kind of new, I mean, obviously an evolution of existing products for the new Apple devices. So, you know, we've got new protective films for new iOS. We've got new fitted cases. We've also kind of grown our little Bluetooth audio receiver called WaveJamr, which we introduced about 14 months ago. We've continuously iterated on that, so we're up to version 5 now. Each version we add support for more and more dockable systems, but with version 5 we've also done something pretty unique, and that's we've added a line-out jack to the device opposite the 30-pin connector. So now it's very easy, very simple to make any audio system a Bluetooth wireless system with this. So not just limited to speaker docks, but you simply power the unit through the 30-pin port, and that's your typical USB to 30-pin charge sync cable. And then coming out of the top, and we even supply a cable, you got your line out, and you can feed that audio into the back of your stereo, into the aux in your car, whatever. very easy. Version 5 is also Bluetooth version 4 with aptX support. So the sound quality is nearly identical to wired. In fact, you'd be real hard pressed to hear a difference. So
this was a great product when you first introduced me to it, because when Apple changed to the Lightning connector, they took out so many speaker docks. They basically made them obsolete. This not only brings the speaker dock back, but it really gives it a lot more flexibility, because no longer does it have to be a dock. It could just be a speaker.
Exactly. And it also gives non-Apple users access to devices which, you know, the non-Apple folks usually don't get the same quality of accessory that the Apple market does. So this opens up a whole bunch of audio accessories to them as well. So
that's a really interesting statement, John, and I'm going to ask you to elaborate on it. If that is true, and I'm going to take that as a given, why? What do you think that is? Why does the Mac market get the better accessories?
Well, I think it's mainly because sort of Apple jumped out there with this early lead, you know, and you know, the Apple market is huge, as we know, and it's not as diluted as, say, the Android market with 30 different handsets. You know, the Apple market, there's one handset, you know, so it makes it a lot easier to make an accessory for one device versus 30. So that's probably the chief reasons why. Now, that could change in the months ahead. Well, actually, most speaker docks have Bluetooth, you know, built in now. But there's a whole bunch of really good and expensive systems still sitting in people's homes that aren't Bluetooth enabled. It can be with this. And, you know, there's a lot of folks that might have an old sound bar, or even the current sound bar they're using with their home audio system. Those sound bars, amazing sound. You know, here's a $40 device, you just turn that sound bar into a great set of speakers for your iPhone or your iPad or your, you know, laptop. And not just Apple products. I mean, anything with Bluetooth. So.
Yeah, and not just a sound bar, but like you said, now any set of speakers will do it.
Exactly. Yeah, your car, home stereo, bookshelf speakers. You might have some great speakers that, you know, are just collecting dust you haven't used in ages. Well, this suddenly like makes it like a brand new toy again, you know.
You've been looking in my closet, John.
Exactly.
Yeah, somehow we all keep upgrading our speakers, but you forget just that you got a lot of great stuff, and you can have them in every room of the house, in a garage, in the basement, you know, and that means it'll pick up anything I play on my iPhone.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Or your Android phone.
Or your Android phone.
Or your PC laptop. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I admit I have a bit of a focus.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of people do. You know, it's really hard for people to wrap their heads around this sometimes. You know, it's almost like I have to explain it twice, and on the second explanation, all of a sudden you see their eyes light up. Because people still think, they see the 30-pin port, they think, oh, that's only for the older iPhones or the older iPods. Well, really, that's got nothing to do with it. You know, I mean.
And let's be very clear, you know, that's a great point. Let's be clear about that. You could seal that port off and just use this as a Bluetooth adapter.
You have to get power to it, so that's where it's getting its power. Yeah. So.
You know, great product. I would not expect anything less from RadTech.
Thank you.
John, it's great to see you. We do this once a year. We got to do it twice a year, and maybe somewhere other than Vegas and San Francisco.
I do need to get to Macworld. I really do. I mean, it's been a long time. Apple pulled out. You know, we kind of stopped at that point just because we had done all the other shows like a year past the point Apple pulled out, and you know, that's hard. You know, it's hard to make a go of it when Apple left. But
listen, exhibiting at any trade show is really expensive. So you've got some business things too. You got to figure out it. If you don't think it's going to pay, you can't go.
Well, it takes a lot of staff away from the day-to-day operation. You know, it's like we don't have that much extra staff to just leave anytime we want. So it really has to be well thought out.
Well, I think it's very cool that you've got your kids here, and it's a bit of a family affair this year, so good job.
Yeah, it's the way we started, so it's kind of a reunion for us all. So.
Hey, it's great to see you. We will do it again.
All right, Chuck, sounds good.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at CES in Las Vegas. We'll be back with more soon. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, app.net, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date with all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at macvoices.com/newsletter. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com.